I think one is simply legacy, legacy architectures, legacy thinking. When today we think about mobile payments as an example in the West, we think about taking that plastic card that we've had and we think about putting it inside an Apple Pay wallet or a Samsung wallet. Whereas in China, the fastest growing economy in the world from a mobile payments perspective, they don't have that analogous approach. They've just created mobile payments capability built from the ground up around the phone, Ant Financial, Alipay and Tencent WeChat. And that's, I think, one of the reasons it's been so successful in China, is they haven't tried to adapt the old system to these new technologies. They've said, what's the easiest way or the best way to build a mobile payments architecture on a mobile phone? So that first principles design thinking, sort of starting from scratch, is key, but it's really tough to do that when you've built your whole org chart around delivery of financial services in a traditional manner. Secondly, from a regulatory perspective, there's obviously going to be challenges. The markets that seem to be innovating more rapidly are those that have been quite aggressive in going after like fintech charters and challenger bank licensing and things like that, regulatory sandboxes. So the markets that tend to be a little bit more conservative in that respect will tend to be a little slower in terms of innovation. So I think your ability to adapt as a market or innovate as a market will become a macro competitive indicator in the future as well. When we first started, the early challenger banks like ourselves and Simple and the early Bitcoin guys, we used to talk in terms of the fact that we're going to take over the industry and be a real challenger. Now, it's become somewhat more pragmatic, where there's obvious growth opportunities and revenue opportunities through cooperating with incumbents, traditional players in the market. And there's advantages for them as well. They get access to technology at a far cheaper rate, far less expensive than building it themselves, and the ability to deploy in a much faster manner than sort of homegrown initiatives. So these two worlds are colliding around technology experiences and these core innovations. And so I think that you will start to see sort of a merging of non-bank and traditional players in this respect. But there is one dark horse, of course, or a number of them, which is the technology players, because increasingly as we use these technology layers, like a voice assistant like Alexa or Siri, or smart glasses in the future, to deliver financial services, the players that own that technology layer may have a pretty strong advantage. They already have billions of customers of their own. Potentially their acquisition cost is essentially zero. So if they choose to compete in this space, then they're going to represent a tough competitor for all of us.